Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video and welcome back to our YouTube channel Life with CL. My name is Alreta. I share this channel with my husband Simba. If you are new, this is where we share our continuous love story. We share on the faithfulness of God, all things parenting, marriage, career, lifestyle, music, and traveling, that type of content. And there is a new segment that is slowly unfolding. If you've been following this journey, thank you to all our subscribers. You'd have noticed that there's a new segment that is slowly unfolding, and that is the beauty element of it. Bringing in the beauty element with the launch of our new hair business that is called Crowned by Wins Closet. Please check us out on Instagram and do follow. Engage with us, like our videos, share, and you might just win yourself a beautiful luxury wig as part of the giveaways that will be soon upcoming. With that said, on today's video, it's something different, something very different, something that is close to my heart that I want to share with the world. So on today's video, we want to talk about all things hair. This unit that I currently have on is a 13 by 4, 13 meaning it's ear to ear by 4. The width of the lace is 4 inches. 13 by 4 HD Cambodian hair in 28 inches. This is how it looks like. I'll insert a few pictures. Now on this video, I want to guide a woman out there that is not a wig person but that would want to wear a wig every now and again, or that is a wig person but that is struggling with buying hair. Can we talk about raw hair first? That is the type of hair that is of ultimate premium luxury quality. Raw hair is the best hair ever. Raw hair it is, guys. What's that? Is it a bird? Raw hair it is, guys. Raw hair is expensive, but it is also an investment, because once you go with raw hair, it has a very durable and great lifespan that you do not need to replace it in like more frequently, right? Raw hair is the one. I don't know if you've been on this channel, you probably have seen me with my hair just a couple of times, or you may have just seen me when I was doing a big chop or doing cornrows or whatever. But most of the times you guys see me with wigs. I started wearing wigs when I was about 17 years old due to hair loss, and even when my hair started growing back, I've just loved wigs. I've just been a wig queen. I've just been a wig girly, and over the years I've really used different types of hair to a point where I can now supply hair myself. And with that said, I'm not very qualified to speak on this topic, but I have explored this industry well enough to be able to make a comment or two. And with that said, we are going to conclude to say raw hair is the premium best quality hair ever. But now we do agree that raw hair is on the pricier side, right? So there is the normal Brazilian, that is the virgin Brazilian, that is not raw, right? But the alternative to that is the Cambodian. My supplier always advises me, and this is what I also advise the clients based on what I have tested. If you cannot afford raw hair, rather go for the Cambodian hair, right? Because of its volume. Hope may I please have that wig. Because of its volume, its durability, it has better quality than the normal Brazilian. And this is the grade 12A virgin Cambodian. Some people do have the raw Cambodian. It's also a cheaper option, but it is of better quality than the normal. And by normal Brazilian, I'm talking about your grade 9As, your grade 11As and that stuff. You'd rather get yourself a grade 12A or even raw Cambodian. This is a 12-inch ear-to-ear Cambodian wig, but it is nicer hair, better hair than the cheaper versions of the Brazilian. It is nicer, it is better, it is fuller, right? And also when you want to get longer inches, it is a better alternative to getting, rather than getting the cheaper Brazilian. Hi sister, you're so cute. So what do I do when I choose my hair options? When I advise my clients, depending on your budget, there is always something for everybody, right? There is always something for everyone. So when I advise my client based on the budget, based on the type of, when I advise my clients based on the budget, based on the type of closure you want, whether it's an everyday wig or whether it's a wig for an event. So before we dig deep into the hair, I want us to touch on the closures, right? I love myself a 7x5. I'll insert a small video here and you will see a 7x5 just comes up until here. Let's quickly watch that video. Do you guys see? A 7x5 is somewhere here, and then you still get to, and it's HD, so you still get to get that illusion of an installed wig that blends in with your skin without having to then paste and use glue and all of that stuff, right? So for an everyday wig, but if you still want to get a sleek look that looks very elegant, then a 7x5 closure is the one. Closures always recommended to do HD, high definition. It is thinner lace, less durable than the normal transparent lace, but it gives an illusion of your scalp. That's a better option. Some people do pluck and bleach their laces, right? You can, especially for an install like this, but high definition HD lace, after it has been plucked and bleached, you will most probably need to replace it after a couple of uses, and that is how sensitive that lace is, right? So if you can get the tinting mousse, a tinting spray, rather tint the hair than doing a bleaching of the knots. Plucking is nice, but plucking sometimes also causes a lot of bald spots. So be a bit mindful depending on the look you're looking for. There's now this new Lagos hairline and things that people are doing. If you are a bride, of course, you can then say, okay, one time use lace, or twice or 3 times use lace. You will use your HD lace for about 3 or 4 times, and then you will need to get rid of it because then it would have thinned out, it would have gotten spots and all of that stuff. If you are a vendor that rents out wigs, you cannot customize your wigs based on your hairline or a customer's hairline, because then you will find different people's with different types of hairlines. So then this wig is one of the rental units I have, so I'll keep the lace like this such that every other queen is able to then use it. Those are some of the things that you need to consider when it comes to the lace. There is a 2x4, right, which is also known as the Kim K. It's a very small lace that goes all the way until the back, right? Kim Kardashian, it's perfect for bobs. It also makes the bob a bit cheaper because lace is the one, or the closure is the one that makes the hair expensive. So if you want a nice, elegant bob, but then you don't want to spend that much money, a 2x4 is a good option to look at. 4x4, not very much of a fan of a 4x4. If instead of getting a 4x4, you can as well just get a 5x5, which is a little bit wider. I'll insert a picture here as well. It's a little bit wider, and then you can do a C-type line. This is a C-type line that goes like this, like the picture that you can see on screen. So a 5x5 then being a better option than the 4x4. Like I said, there's a 6x6, there's a 7x7, there's a 7x5, then there's a 13x4, there's a 13x6. 13 this way, ear to ear, and by 4 and by 6. It also depends if you want to make a long line, maybe you want that type of styling, right? For an everyday wig, my favorite being the 5x5, because you can style it, you can make it look neat, you can do a lot of things, and it's not as expensive as a 6x6, 7x7, 7x5, or a 13x4 or 13x6, right? For insulations, 13x4 is fine. It's cheaper than the 13x6, but it does the same job. Really, there isn't much of a difference unless you want to have a longer line like I just explained. So that it is on the laces. Go for 2x4 if you want a bob, but you want it a bit affordable. Okay, I was just a little bit distracted. So then that's that on the lace. There is a transparent lace that you can get, which is also a cheaper option if you feel HD is too expensive. For your 2x4s and your 4x4s, it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be HD, because really it's a small lace for you to want to make it HD. HD is nice, it's on the luxury side of things, but remember, we want to be as accommodative as possible, such that every person from every walks of life can afford at least a unit for an everyday week or for an emergency, such that we do not have bad hair day queens. That's what we're trying to drive it. So do consult. Yeah, the next thing that I want to touch on is with this thing of people saying, I have so many weeks. How many weeks do you have? Do you have 20 weeks? Do you have 30 weeks? My response to that was, I have enough weeks to wear a wig every single day of the year for 365 days. Why is that so? Because I would play around with hair. No, I do not have 365 wigs, but I can have a different hairstyle every single day of the 365 days. Maybe a little bit exaggerated, but doable. What do I mean by that? I play around with my wigs. Next time you guys see this 28 inches, you may see it with a different size closure, because I probably want to wear it every day and I'm going to Cape Town and it's holiday and I want inches, but I do not want to install because of the rains, and then the glue is gonna turn white, right? But then I want the inches, and the inches I have is on 13x4. What I'm gonna do is I might just redo this lace and cut this thing here to make it glueless. Glueless, you've seen the blonde wig before. That is what we mean by glueless. Then I cut it and then I insert a band at the back and then we make it glueless. I can wear it without installing. That's what we can do. You can cut your longer hair into a bob. Your 16 inches, you can cut it into a 14-inch bob. You can level it. The split ends, you do treatment, you change the color, you change the lace. Instead of it having two bundles, you add a bundle, but you add a new bundle on top to make it longer, to make it look newer, and you change the color. And probably instead of just going all blonde, now you keep the roots black and then you add a chocolate brown and then you do it ombre type of a thing. So that's how I've always been playing around with my wigs. So to those people that I've answered that I have 365 hairstyles in a year, whatever, that's a lie. Flare Collection was one of my favorite vendors to use for hair. They've closed now. They were in Windhoek, but I'd always go to them with my wigs and I'm like, I'm tired of wearing this wig like this. What else can we do? So that is the type of work that we now do as part of Crowned by Win's Closet, to give you that option of playing around with your wigs. I had wigs that came in during the course of this week, some of it being blonde, and you can tell, right? Raw hair doesn't love color. Raw hair dries out, especially with the harsh tones, the blondes and the gingers and the coppers and the loud shades. Raw hair is dry. I had a raw wig that I ended up making black just now in a last few weeks. My hair was so dry, but now when I colored it black, you can tell the hair is nice, flowy, it is flexible, it has a lot of life, and I just love it. I love the fact that you can play around with raw hair, right? So now we've spoken about the raw hair versus the normal Brazilian versus the Cambodian hair. There is also Vietnamese. Vietnamese, I haven't tried it out that much yet, but I think I love the fact that it is very straight. It's bone straight. It's SDD. Is it SSD or SDD, whatever? Bone straight, double drawn. That's a hood. It's nice for long bob. So maybe I will try it out in the next order. But for now, I can't really comment more on the Vietnamese. Then there's the luxury Indians that are more on the pricier side and all of that stuff, right? What we sell is the premium raw hair that I just spoken about. We do sell the Cambodian, right? We also have the pixie curlies. So now let's talk about the textures of hair, straight versus curly. I personally feel straight hair is a bit much more work than curly hair. A lot of people will disagree because they feel curly hair is high maintenance. Straight hair, you constantly have to go blow it out, you have to straighten it, you have to brush it and all of that stuff. With curly hair, what I just love is you just spray your conditioner, curl activator mix, and you brush it out with a curly brush. You keep down or tone down your curls and the volume with mousse and you're good to go. That you can do at home. Straight hair, styling it by yourself at home is a little bit challenging. So yeah, that's just one of the things that you need to be a bit mindful of. I personally love curly hair. I feel like straight hair is high maintenance. It is high maintenance. This hair won't look like this tomorrow. It won't look like this tomorrow. I probably have to curl it again after I wake up. Even worse if it has been installed, because I would have slept on the hair, and then when I wake up I can't just up and go. With curly hair, my goodness, you can just wet the hair and brush the hair and you are good to go. So yeah, let's look at the types of curls. There's something that's called a pixie curl. We do sell the pixie curl units as well. I love pixie curls because of the fact that they are very sophisticating. Those curls are gorgeous, right? Then there's the body wave, then there's the deep curls and the water wave and the jerry curls and the kinky curly and all of that stuff. So it depends on the type of curls that you want. You can always inquire with us on Instagram and we can advise you, especially for the sew-in girlies. If you want to get type of curls, you probably want to go with kinky because you already have a curly crown and then you just want the curls to blend in with your own hair. So the type of curls that you want actually depends on what you can handle. Body wave is a good alternative because body wave, most of the people will actually wear body wave in curls anyway, like tongue curls, those round curls or rolled curls or whatever. But then body wave tends to keep curls in better than straight hair. And then there's now the straight hair that we all love. Now, are you maybe thinking about getting yourself a wig, but you're also not sure what type of inches and whatever to have? For me, I think the first type of wigs to start with is a bob. A bob is so versatile. A bob is a win for every girl's closet. You need yourself a bob. And if you're getting a bob, because it's short hair and it's cheaper, get a raw bob, because a bob is a bob. A bob will be a bob in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. The only thing that you'll ever need to maybe do with your bob is to maybe change the closure at some point after 10 years. You can cut it a bit shorter if you want it. You can change the color, but a bob is a bob. And for a bob, you want to go raw, non-negotiably raw, right? For my longer inches, I prefer Cambodian because long hair is cheap. On supplier's price, if you are looking at 3 bundles of 28, and 28, in fact, you must make it 4 bundles because it's long hair to be few. Cambodian is fuller and it's 3 bundles and it's a lot of hair looking like this on the Cambodian side. So with Cambodian, yes, 3 bundles and a closure should be sufficient for long hair. It's cheaper, but you still get to get the look right. If you can afford raw, on supplier's price, 3 bundles 28 with a good closure, maybe even a 5x5, let's say for example, would probably already be costing something of 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 on supplier's price. How much am I going to sell that to you for? That is why we see hair that is being sold for 18,000 Namibian dollars, 30,000 Namibian dollars, and okay, 30 is a bit exaggerated, maybe 18,000 Namibian dollars, 22,000 Namibian dollars, whatever, because long hair is expensive. But for long hair, it's okay to have Cambodian because Cambodian is good hair, it's durable hair, but you're also not going to be wearing it every single day. Who wears 28 inches to work? A raw bob you most likely wear to work even for a whole month, right? That is why short hair, and it's affordable. You can do raw with short hair up until 18 inches. I think it's still affordable. Even until 24, 22, everyday wigs you can do raw because you will need to curl those wigs. It will need to survive heat and all of that. But with long hair, with Cambodian, it's holiday hair. It's 28 inches. Where are you wearing 28 inches to an office? Huh? Ooh, Macy. Unless you want to make a bun or whatever. So longer inches, holiday hair, it's occasional wear. You can do away with Cambodian and it is cheaper because it's longer inches. 28 inches in raw hair is going to be costing you an arm and a leg if I have to be extremely honest. So my My suggestion, or what I have learned, or what I could recommend, is with a shorter hair, you do raw. Because even with shorter hair, you just need 2 bundles, right? With a bob, we do our bobs with 2.5, but I actually also noticed now that it's too much volume. 2 bundles are fine for bobs. 2 bundles and a good closure, which is maybe 5 by 5, is perfectly good. And that will be still within like $3,000 or less, even 2,400, 2,600, 2,800, depending on the inches if you just have the 2 bundles. 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. If you want to go that, Cambodian is perfectly fine for that. I love myself long, extremely long curly hair. And by extremely long, I mean even as long as 30 inches, 28 to 30 inches. I'll sit inside a picture here. I have a 28-inch Cambodian wig that I did with a 6x6 closure. So if I want to make it look installed or give it that installed illusion, I can do that with that hair, and it's nice, it's durable, and it has nice long length and all of that stuff. And I didn't need to break my bank to get those long inches because it is Cambodian, but it is still good hair, right? So your longer bundles, Cambodian is perfectly fine. For your curly hair, Cambodian is perfectly fine. Why I would recommend Cambodian even for the shorter curly wigs is because of the fact that raw hair again is bietjie droog and is bietjie hard, né? You don't want curly hair that is curly. It needs to vavavoom, like it needs to flow. So now with raw curly hair, yes, it is more durable than the Cambodian, but I don't think you need to break your bank to get raw curly hair. You can get away with Cambodian curly hair because it is nice and it's softer and it's more fluffier. So these are my options. These are my this is what I have tried and this is what I've experienced over the years. This is what I have learned, and I'm just sharing that with you. Like I already said, I'm not educated enough to speak on this topic. I've just been a wig girly and I have used wigs long enough to be able to give a suggestion or to recommend something for a client. Last one, wig revamps. There are times when the hair is still perfectly fine, and it is that way for most of the girlies, but your closure is old. You can bring the wig in, we can revamp your closure, we can replace your closure, we treat the hair, maybe we even cut it a bit shorter to make it look like it's a completely new wig, because most probably if it has been old wigs, the ends are split ends and it's a bit dry and all of that. We give it treatment, we trim it a little bit, we make it blend in with your new closure, and you get the wig revamped to get a completely new wig. For that, we charge 300 Namibian dollars, but you need to buy the closure. Check out on Instagram, we have our prices there. Normally for a 12-inch, it's costing 1,200. For 4x4, 5x5 is 1,300. You see the price difference is not much, so rather get a 5x5. And a 12-inch is actually very long. The wig that I previously just showed now on this video, that's a 12-inch. So even for your 18-inch wig that you want to revamp and change the closure, for 18 it's normally recommended that you do 16, but you can do away with 14, because if it's straight hair, it will definitely blend in. With curly hair, you do not want to take a very short closure that stops here in the hair is 28 inches. You do not want to do that. Closures come up until, my supplier has it up until 20 inches for some textures and 22 inches for some textures. So maybe for this 28-inch, my closure is an 18-inch, and it's perfectly fine because this is the closure. This is the length of the closure. If I want to make bangs and whatever, I can still get the look that I want. So those are the closure sizes that you need to look at. But we advise every person based on their needs and what would look good for them. Also based on the skin tone, we do color and all of that. We've just been privileged for the past couple of weeks to have done a few consultations with people that have encountered what I have encountered also in my teenage years and in my early adulthood years of hair loss, and how I accepted all of that stuff and how I can now be a wig queen, right? So a few people have been consulting on that. If you know of a friend that is experiencing the same thing and she doesn't know how to face the world, we can crown her with one's closet. Just refer them to us. We can do consultations and all of that stuff. The last wig that I want to look at is the Pixie. Ooh, I love myself a Pixie. Gulules. My baby says Gulules. Okay, as you see on screen, that is my Pixie unit. It's a glueless Pixie. It's a 13 by 4, the same closure as this one, but Pixie is an everyday wig and you do not want to install it, and that is why I made mine glueless. So that is one of the services that we offer. If you have bigger closures and you want to give it an illusion of an installed wig, but you don't want to make it an everyday wig, we can then make your wig glueless for you, and you can wear it without installing and still achieve a silky, flawless, elegant look that you may desire. Yeah, I will do another video where I'll show you guys how I curl my hair. I'll do another video where I'll show you guys how to keep a curly wig curly. And for curly wigs, non-negotiable, you need a curl activator, you need mousse, you need a brush, you need a spray bottle. If you are a wig girly and you are transitioning into that type of a lifestyle, get yourself a mannequin head and try to do things on your own if you can. You don't always have to rush to the salon to go drop off, because I can say that being a wig girly has been cheaper for me than being a braids girly. I hear people spending about $700, $800, $900 a month, even $500 if it's cheaper a month to do hair. If you get yourself a raw bob for $3,000, right? You do not have to braid your hair even for 6 months. And then after that, you add on a curly, shorter wig that is an everyday wig for hair, for work. And then you have got 2 weeks that you've invested in that year, right? You will save a lot. You do not have to then go braid your hair every single time. So that is just what I've encountered. I feel like braiding is more expensive than having a wig on. Yes, the one-time investment of the wig might look like it's an expensive cost, but it saves you. Also, if you are somebody that loves braids, you don't have to wear wigs all the time. You can switch between braiding and wigs. So yeah, I will show you guys another video how I style the hair, how we do the treatment, how we bring back the wigs to life. So embark with me on this new journey. Go follow us on Instagram. It's Crowned by Wins Closet, a new girl in the blog that is about to change your lifestyle. Bringing those old wigs that you have, let's replace your closures, let's give it a new feel, let's color the hair and make it look like a completely new wig. And you might as well just look like you've got a new wig, but it's really just old hair that you're just recycling. We can do that for you. I have a professional hairstylist in the room. Yeah, I'd highly recommend that. It's somebody that I work with. She's very good. So I do the hair sales and all of that stuff, and then we have somebody who's very professional, who's got the time and the talent to do the styling and the revamping of the wigs. And for the girlies that have gotten wigs in the past, they can attest to that. Please let me know in the comment section what type of hair you love, what type of hair content you want to see in the next few videos. And please do engage with us in the comment section. If you've watched up until now, please put that emoji with the hair on the scissors so that we can see that you're loving this hair content. And like I'm saying, no, it's not a hair YouTube channel. It is just an extra beauty segment that we've just introduced to this and that I love so much for myself. Girl is still on crutches. I still don't work. So this is what I'm bringing. Videos where I can sit and talk to you guys and engage with you guys in the comment sections, and not really where I'm out and about. And with that said, love and light. Appreciate the love and support, guys. Crowned by Wins Closet is a new girl in the block. You do not want to miss out. Let us know in the comment section what type of wigs you want to see us having in stock. What type of wigs do you guys prefer? Please recommend and share this with the brides that are coming up, with the graduation girlies. Until next time, doodles from me. Thank you for watching.